Been good.
You know, they found a rifle cartridge in that toilet out there. That was the problem.
Is that what it was?
What the hell?
Yeah.
How does that even get in there?
All right, it's August 6th, 3 o'clock, more or less. Meeting, special meeting for the budget hearing. Starting now. Anita, it's your baby.
Oh, it's my gig.
Yep.
Well, I got numbers for you guys.
All right, all in favor?
So we're milling about 35 grand less than last year, unless you guys want to make some immediate changes.
I
It's
think
got-
last year it was 323, 335.
I pulled this from the county.
Well,
This
that's
is what
not-
was sent to the county. 355, 160.
Well, how come that one,
The worksheet,
the revenue sheet says we're supposed to get 323? So I don't know if the initial, like the preliminary budget was that much and we cut after that, or, but we're only expected to receive 323, so I guess
okay.
whatever. But it's not going, I don't think it's going down that much. I give it.
I have one.
It's too late, that had to be in before 3 o'clock.
Oh, you made more changes?
There's no
Kevin.
changes on that, is there?
I made copies for everybody. If it hadn't changed from the other day when you gave it to me. Okay.
Yep, same thing. I just want to make sure everybody got it.
Well, I guess where do you guys want to start?
Twyla's not gonna be here.
Don't look like it.
I guess the only thing I can see on the revenue general fund, for
Can you-
building permits,
Can you tell them what page?
oh, sorry,
Just,
page 4, it's basically after all that.
Page 4, yeah, line 7.
Yeah, so building permits, I think is just a guess.
It is a guess. It was based on 10 homes. Now, if Silver Springs does what they say they're gonna do and build 18 to 52 homes in the next year, that number is going to definitely be different.
So I don't know, since we're paying out as much as we're taking in, I guess either change the 15 to 11.5 or change on the next page, change the building inspected wages to 15. Unless we plan to, and this is something, the only reason that I think
You
this is,
thinking of matching them up?
well, the only reason I think this is in here like that, what we talked about was seeing if Kim would do like fences, decks and sheds to save us some money.
Well, she can definitely do fences and anything under 10 by 12. So anything over,
And she's willing to?
well, if she isn't, I am.
Okay.
Take care of those. But and then Chuck's, he's been looking at lines and whatnot too, if we can't get out of the office to verify properties. So you're thinking that
Well, in that case though, we can probably just leave it the same. If we're gonna actually be able to save a little bit of money doing
we
it.
wouldn't be able to do the sheds at 10 by 12 or more, because that does have to go through their certified inspection, as well as garages.
Do decks,
Decks do too for the base,
just the footings.
the footings. I mean, none of us are schooled on any of that.
Chuck is.
I don't know, Chuck, you want to take decks from now on?
I think that's just not a good idea.
Why not?
Because he's the mayor, he shouldn't be out there actually saying what's right and wrong with something. I think it's a bad idea.
I'd agree with that. I conflict there a little bit.
Being the mayor and the building inspector or the same?
It's not that it's the same, but you can definitely have friction there between people.
Sure.
No,
Yeah.
I get
Somebody
what
could
you're
come
saying.
back and say they,
Some people might come back and say, hey, yeah.
Correct.
potential for down the road problems with that, yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Please watch your language.
No, I will not listen to you, pals.
Can we, Chuck, you want to stop that? We haven't even started and there's a freaking problem.
Exactly.
Sorry, I asked.
John,
him
And you
about
Well,
can't
something.
ever
something
hear
that's all I
him
heard.
talk because he never has his microphone on. I listened
Jesus,
to the
Brent.
video from the other night.
huh?
Couldn't even hear it.
You're the one late.
Oh.
Did anybody say anything about it?
We're okay. No, we're glad you're here.
All right.
Lord.
So
On line 7 of 15 compared to the building inspector wages, 11.5.
maybe just equal them up. Just
I would, yeah, I would agree. I think they both should be either 15 or both 11.5. I don't, you're not going to make any money on it.
exactly. So
No,
just make
if
them
it
both
is, it would be
15.
minor, you know,
Correct.
$75 times, you know, whatever we get, 30 permits.
This is kind of like the
So then
income
just
page,
make this 15.
and this is like the expenses.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
this is all we get.
so we might make a, you know, I mean, and it's not really there to make money on that, but
No, I don't think so.
enough there to, you know, pay for the filing, pay for the contract, you know, whatever that goes along with Kim and I digging into research on things, you know.
That's just part of being in the office, though. I
It is
mean,
part of being in the office.
it is what it is.
Absolutely.
I guess I'm going to bring it up. I yellowed it out. Do we want to continue with the park board agreement and have them give us $6,000 a year and take care of it? Or do we want to let them go on their own?
Where are you at there?
Page 4, 3709.
Okay, so let's go back to that. You guys want me to go 11.5 or 15?
15.
15.
15 on both lines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Where-
Everybody's in agreement on that?
What was the second line?
It'd have been on the next page, Aiden, on page 5. Would have been the building inspector wages.
Page 5, line 8 on the
Line
right-hand
8.
column.
Just to make them even.
So you're gonna go
So page 5, line 8,
1,500,
we go 15,000.
15,000?
Yep, on both. And that is just a guesstimate, like you said, 'cause I don't exactly know how many homes are going to be coming in, especially if Silver Springs does their 18 to 50 homes.
As long as it's a wash, I don't
Right, as
think it
long as
matters.
it's a wash. Okay. So park board agreement, Steve, where's that one at? That's on the expenditure line?
On the revenues on the 3709,
3709.
page 4.
Okay,
Don't they give us $6,000 a year and then we take care of all their maintenance or whatever?
yeah, park board clerk, yep.
Or the clerk part?
Yep. So currently, the park board, if not known by everybody, pays the city $6,000 or whatever's agreed upon at the time of their agreement.
So that's just the clerk part?
Yep, that's
It's basically to take care of them financially and
Meetings.
organize things.
Okay. I'm good with it. Just getting readjusted. What's the transfer in COVID thing on 3912?
that is because
COVID money.
Kevin wants to hire just a officer for half the year. And we have all those. We have like $150,000 in wages. I mean, not in the COVID fund that
So
hasn't been
taking the
used.
wages out of that fund instead of pulling it out of the general account, would that make sense?
Yeah, but is that just his money? Is that police COVID money? Or is that
Yeah,
everybody's
it was
money?
emergency.
It's, well,
You-
it's
you can be
not
used
just
for anything.
police COVID money, it's city-related COVID expenditures. So it's not just designated to police, but the idea is if Kevin wants to hire another officer, we can pull the wages out of that and not actually levy for it for next year, if that makes sense. So if you look at the COVID detail on, the second to the last page of this whole packet? Nope, that's prairie dog. COVID is where? Find it.
It's the one that's kitty wampus.
The sideways one?
Yep.
Yeah. So page 7?
7, yep. So there was almost $146,000 in there, and just to transfer 45 out and leave the rest for possibly next year covering an
So it's
officer.
this one?
Yeah. Nope, the kitty one.
Page 7 is the COVID detail for that fund, actually.
Not really numbered very
Those
well.
2 page 7s?
Sorry we didn't print out.
Well, yeah. it's
Oh
kinda
yeah,
hard
the
to
numbers don't match at all.
Okay. Oh, this could be more confusing.
So yeah, they're sitting 145 grand in the COVID relief fund.
So it's not page it's not page 7.
No,
it's-
not technically, really.
Sorry. I'm a little bit
Schedule
slower.
C.
Don't feel bad.
And we can use that money for anything,
That goes sideways, but I
I
haven't,
didn't
I haven't
see
found
that
it
one
yet
yet.
either.
or is it just
The
emergency?
reason we received it was because of the police department, so I guess just
It would
thinking like
make
that, it
sense.
would make sense to use it. But yes, it can be used for,
Anything.
but here's the deal. We're getting, so we have $125,000 in the Prairie Dog Fund right now. We're getting another $125,000 this year from that ARPA thing that Anita got done. That's $220,000.
But the
Um,
prairie dog is designated to certain projects, and so
Correct.
is this ARPA.
Yep.
The COVID is actually like a kind of a done deal thing, and we did get it back because of our police force wages. That is truly what qualified us, is having a police department. So,
Yeah, I got no problem with that. I guess I'm just wondering,
In the future, using the rest of it.
well, I think we need, I mean, this building is almost shot. I mean, they've looked at new buildings forever. Our equipment is a joke. I mean, everything we have is old and run down. I guess I would almost rather levy for the wages and figure out what we want to do with $145,000 instead of just nickel and diming it out somewhere. I mean, it's just an option.
it is, absolutely. What does everybody else think on that?
I mean, whether we have free wages for 1 year and then we have to levy the next year, what's the difference? I guess I would rather have something that you actually have some sort of an asset for, if we can spend it on whatever.
I guess the thought was just in case Kevin were to retire, then it would just still be the 3 full-time wages.
What do you think, Kevin? You're sitting out there.
We're actually gonna be sitting here when I get to my budget deal, that the third person will back up to full staff. We're still gonna be running what we normally are, so it's like we're still staying in line with what we have the last 2 years. So I don't have a problem. At this point, I don't see a need for a lot of that money, but, sometimes for the police department, the city continues to grow, doesn't have to be the whole thing.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm looking at too.
Keep an eye on it, the city keeps growing.
I mean, I guess, yeah, I know it was designated, it wasn't designated for the police, but it was because of the police. It'd be no different than if something was designated for maintenance where with some money and you need a cop car, then we buy you a cop car. I mean, to me, it's city money.
Right, I'm just getting at, just make sure that the person that's down the road for some of it.
Well, because your budget's always been pretty good. You work it, so I mean, you have 12 grand this year going into a police fund so you can get a car in 3 years. We've never seemed to figure that out on the other side, where we just. Correct. Without a doubt, 100%.
Is there anything specific we can or cannot use that for?
For
Yes,
COVID, it's
COVID?
not specified. No, that was
Non-
just money we received because we had a police department.
And can be used for
for anything.
Any needs of the city.
I guess I would like to see it moved out. And we would levy the 45,000 as far as wages as we always have or will do.
It won't make that much difference in the levy anyway.
No, and at least the money's still there, so if we do decide to do something with it, it's there. I mean,
Well,
maintenance equipment's expensive.
can there be a happy medium, like
Certainly can.
20,000? I mean, change it to 20,
Yeah, we can. I mean, I guess,
because then you'd still have 125 in there, and
I mean, to me, I guess it looks like in reality, there's $45,000. It's not free money, but it's money that we can chip away at as we go through the rest of the budget.
Mhm.
If that makes sense.
Is there a timeline on the money?
I don't think so.
Oh,
no.
on this COVID money, it's ours.
They've already given it.
It's
given
it's
it, not-
ours.
okay.
Yeah.
I would agree with Jenny. I don't have a problem going with 20.
For now, just, yeah, for now, mark it to 20.
I'll go with that.
Okay, so all members agree? Anybody not agree? Change 45 to 20?
Yep.
And that's gonna change this one. to
Well, it might change again.
25.
And levy the rest in a line item? In a PD line item?
Yeah, just on a.
Yep.
The police thing.
PD line item, general levy. Okay. Okay.
I guess I had some questions on page 5, if we just go through the expense part of it. Now, as far as like the requested for like your income, and like line 111, they're actually called line 13. Is that putting salary increases for everybody, or what did we decide to do on that? Or is
That's with an increase, yeah. And I mean, I don't know if you want to just jump right to the wage sheet
The
too.
wage sheet.
what page?
This is the
It was
wage
like the
sheet.
first or second one.
I think that was on the top of the actual budget piece of things.
Have we already talked about that at all?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess
We don't
on
get
the wages,
$120. We're only at 100.
it was 3% across the board for who then? For everybody on here, or?
3% was used to calculate Blue Cross Blue Shield increase.
Okay,
That's just guessing.
You
Insurance
haven't
goes.
gotten it yet?
No, we renew actually at the end of October, but insurance goes up every year.
They should still have the rates for you. We got ours already at school. I got mine months ago.
I guess I haven't asked, for them.
What are you guys paying for a single Blue Cross right now?
okay, Anita, when did you get your last raise?
When you guys gave it to me here, shortly.
A couple
Month
months
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so let's just call it July 21. How about Terry? How long she been here?
Terry's been here since April.
Did she have like a 90-day review or anything
I
like
think
that?
she just got a little piece of a raise too here with, everything that happened. Both her and I did.
Okay.
Very appreciated. Thank you. Yes.
And then
Again.
Kim is the next one down as far as like deputy auditor. We
Yep,
just hired
Kim's-
her.
Kim's the next one down, would be showing a $1 increase.
Dollar increase, like, okay,
She makes 19. Well, it's 20 on here.
Yeah, this is confusing to me because it doesn't really have what she was at. None of you actually.
Yeah.
That's where you're currently at.
Yeah, no, I'm at 24. So
But
this
she's at
shows a
19, but
46
this says
cent
20.
raise. Terry's at 17. That shows a 20 or a quarter raise. But maybe Kim's got to be adjusted.
so you're at 24, not 24.46?
Right, but if we're looking at 2022, that would be a 46 cent raise. Cost of living raise,
But you just went to 24, right?
exactly.
And then Terry's at 17.
Yep.
And,
Kim's at 19.
and when we hired Kim, she just started, did we say something like you're gonna be at $19 for 90 days and then be increased to?
I don't know that the increase was mentioned. I'd have to look at the motion.
Oh, it was. I'm pretty sure.
What was it
So
at?
24.
I think 1950 after 90 days or whatever.
Did you say 3%? 2%? 3%? What'd you figure?
Kevin, you're kind of stuck where you're at, right?
$24 at 3%, 72 cents. So I'm confused.
And then Anna's at 28 now.
No, she's at 2650, you were considering that in 2022 budget.
Right.
And her last increase would have been when?
She just got promoted.
So the sheet we have in front of us doesn't have any of the current actual.
Exactly.
It
current
doesn't have the
numbers.
It's
current, it has
confusing.
what 2022 could possibly do for us.
Yeah, but
Which-
it's helpful to have what you're currently at, so we can do the math.
Then Anthony just started as well.
He's at, 24.
Right now,
Yep.
And the part-time is $20.
What's that 24 in there for?
That would be for the new officer.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Part-time is there.
And that's what you want to start at is 24, or that's what we'll move them to?
I would say start at 24 and then they usually go up 50 cents after the 90 days.
And then AJ, you're at what currently? Okay, so that doesn't,
currently,
He is.
and when was the last time you got a raise? I think we did 50 cents or something. So,
So we've all had some type of raise, except I believe John. So maybe just even looking at a percentage, like a cost of living increase. If you guys think that would be appropriate for next year, hopefully we're all on board and all here next year.
and John, you're 2242. And when was the last time you actually got anything? Okay.
That's your CDL.
Right?
That was
Yep.
last year. I got a raise for CDL last year. And I raised my water license and this year.
so you're currently at 2242.
Would it be fair just to give a percentage right across the board raise? Is that what you're thinking, or are you thinking going individually?
I don't know, whatever you guys want to do.
Well, 3% of $24 is 72
3% was
cents.
Blue Cross. These numbers are just
Well,
thrown
where
in
did
there
you get the
for-
2446 from then? If
I'm-
you're at 24,
Sorry, no idea.
okay. I'm just asking.
No,
I'm
and
trying
I'm sorry,
trying
I
to figure out the math.
don't have a great answer for you.
'Kay.
But Blue Cross was increased by 3%. That is further down this line here. If you guys
That's
are
what you
looking at
figured
just
it
your
at.
Base lit wages, they're just numbers thrown in there based on what is, what could be.
Blue Cross.
So if you guys wanted to do a quarter
8200.
across the board for everybody, great. If you want to do a 2% cost of living raise, if you don't want to do any raises, you don't have to, you know? If you want to evaluate them individually, I don't know that evaluations have been done, but they haven't been done here since I've been here.
I was gonna say, I don't think there is an evaluation. I know at one time there used to have like a wage sheet. Have you ever seen anything like that back
The
there?
wage sheet?
Yeah, nothing.
Not yet.
According to the manual, every equal,
I think it's more fair to give a percentage across the board to everyone, myself. Instead of individually picking.
We could still put in evaluations.
Right, do
I
the
think it'd be,
evaluations, but yeah, they should be done just to be in your file.
annually, it'd be amazing that they would be done, because everybody can use constructive criticism to do better at their job.
And when does this budget take place then? What month?
January 2021,
It is January.
or 22, sorry, 21 happened already. No, we're not going back.
I think you should go straight up, across the board, 2.5%.
Well, I just kind of, I mean, if they were getting $25 an hour, it's a 75-cent raise.
At what percent?
Three, yeah, at three, it's,
Or even 3%.
I guess I'm okay with that.
Got a
I'm okay with
motion and a
that.
second?
That,
I'm
it's-
okay with
you don't need
that.
motions. We're
You don't?
just,
Okay,
Cause
We're
that's
just-
not set in
the-
stone right now, right? We're
it's
just,
preliminary.
yeah, it's just a
But-
preliminary deal. We got to get a number somewhere so we know what the expenses are and the income, so they even out.
So, all you guys all agree then, 3% across the board? That's a question.
I do.
I agree. I'm with that.
Yeah.
3% makes sense.
Hmm.
So I guess like when we do the final one,
Yep.
are we gonna get like a sheet like this again?
You will with the exact numbers in there, okay?
Yep.
What they're going from and what they're going to.
Well, if I do from, I'd have to add another line item in here. Is that what you want to see?
Well, there's the line for current, oh, never mind.
Yeah, put the current
Right.
ones in there so everyone can see.
Try to fit it in there.
I would agree.
Okay. Current wage versus increase. I'll put it in there somewhere.
Yeah, and you should be able to find out your insurance, your Blue Cross should be available.
Yeah, I'd like to know what the increase in the.
Ours was more than
insurance stuff.
3%, I think. Hi, Hannah.
Well, and the thing is, even with just a 3% raise, I mean, if Blue Cross goes up 3%, basically your raise
Getting
is
6.
nothing.
Right.
I mean,
You guys don't pay for your own insurance? Or does the city pay for it?
City pays single, but if we have family plans, a couple of us do,
Okay.
then we.
You pay
out
the
of pocket.
difference?
Absolutely,
You pay the difference between a single and a family?
there's different rates.
That's what I'm saying. Do you pay the difference?
The city covers all of a single and a portion, a percentage of a family plan.
All of the single plus a percentage?
no,
All of
I,
the single, but the family plan isn't. covered.
70% of a single plus
70 or
dependent and
75%.
70% of a family.
Okay.
so when I look on page 5 on this health insurance benefit, since we're talking about that, right under line 15, then there's like a blank, but I guess like in 2020, there was like 16,659, then they didn't budget anything for 21, and there's 8,000 that they've expensed. What's all that?
That's because, and I
That's
tried to
because
have
we-
people fix it, but they,
We have part of maybe Kim's in there as well. Not only just mine.
it's just not, the program isn't registering it properly on the reports. So instead of the health insurance benefit showing up where it should on that line item under the auditor account, it shows up like in non-departmental instead. Oh, you can see it. The first line, 210 in non-departmental at the bottom. So the line item is 16,878, but they've only expended 2,400.
Mm.
Is our software that whacked out?
Yeah.
No, it just needs to be set up
It
properly.
needs to be set up properly.
I mean, because it literally makes no sense, because then if you still stick on line 210 where they budgeted 34,000 in 2020.
Yep.
I mean, it's basically 2 line 10s, or 2
It's
of them.
basically 2 of them, exactly.
So it's literally 50,000 that they budgeted.
That's not budgeted though. That's
Well,
actual.
oh yeah, actual. And then they used 16 in, well, plus that 8. So they've used 20,
That can't be right either.
No, that can't be right.
Which line are you looking at?
Well,
210,
210,
non-departmental.
Under auditor?
yeah, I mean, because you,
210 and then
Well,
down
the
on
first column
another
is 2020 and the
non-departmental.
second one is 2021.
correct, but in 2020, you would literally have to take the 16,000 on line 210 plus the 34,000 and get 50
Well,
Or is
this
that
is
wrong?
just for that's just for
for the actual that they
for
use in
the two
2020.
employees that were receiving the benefits in the office. They used 16,659 in 2020.
Right, so then that means the requested for 2022 isn't even enough to cover what we are actually using.
Yeah, no. So the way this should have been set up a long time ago is everybody's health insurance and wages can come out of their own
Their own
department.
department.
So the only reason it says 10,185, that's only Anita. Let's just say. Terry and Kim's health benefits would come out of like water or sewer or something. I think it's set up as. The police department, that's all.
In their department.
Well, the police department is in actually non-departmental, so that would be all them. On the non-departmental part, everybody's like tax payments are right there and all the ND PERS. You can only move some things out of the general fund. Some of it has to stay where it's at. So all of those payroll liabilities that are in there have to be in there. The rest of them, like, instead of transferring money around, and I think it's that first page that Anita sent out, instead of having,
All those
10, 12
transfers.
transfers, you can actually take it just right out of the fund for their,
Take
just
it
to
right
make it
out of
easy.
water, take it right out of sewer, take it right out of a line item appropriated correctly in the general fund versus doing those transfers at year end. It'd be just so much simpler if it came out of the right account.
And like the engineering fees, that can be moved, so it went down to $10,000. But some of it got moved to water and sewer, I believe, because I mean, that's the majority of what they engineer.
But then it's so hard to follow where the hell the money's going.
You think so?
It's just another line item in the water fund.
I think it's easier if it's, if we get billed for the water lines, it comes out of the water fund.
I agree.
So it stayed the same.
So those numbers are correct then. I mean, as far as we know, whether there's
Well, they're covering myself.
question marks in there or
Between those
whatever.
two line items, they're covering myself, Terry, Kim, the PD for health coverage, if that makes any sense.
Okay. And it goes where it goes. Now on the attorney, is that the only attorney line then? Or are there,
And then there's the PD attorney.
and is that Andrew as well?
And you also had Ryder,
And Ryder, yep.
So 32.5 total.
Okay, I'm gonna throw this out there. We never had an attorney on a salary for 20 plus years while I sat here doing this. I like Andrew, but I don't think we need an attorney at every meeting.
I agree.
I mean,
I don't. There's many times that we ask the attorney at meetings the direction we should go,
I agree.
but sometimes we don't
And
always see eye to eye, and then he basically, if you ask him what his legal opinion is, that's kind of what we're supposed to follow.
what are we budgeting for the attorney then? 15,000 here and the police one was what? Another,
15.
so 30.
In 2020, we spent 20,292
That's just on,
Regular.
just for the city.
Yep.
And 13,404 for the police. So
And again, we're only only $1,500 off from what you're asking for next year, 6 months in to this year. So we know we're already, I'm assuming we're already over that dollar amount. So
Yeah.
we're not even budgeting enough to cover what we are using them for.
We've already spent 16,000, we only budgeted 15.
Yep.
Police only spent 24, 21.
So do you guys think that number should change?
Well, I guess, do we have a contract with Andrew or what do we have?
He's an appointed piece of our city.
Did we enter into a contract with him for a year?
For a
or-
wage or what?
No, he's an appointed piece of the city. There is no contract. You can appoint an attorney. Normally it gets done at election time. You appoint your engineer, your attorney, your building inspector, your auditor. I'm not even hired. If you don't want to hire me, I'm appointed.
So he's just basically on the clock when he gets here?
He's got a retainer. You guys agreed to do a retainer fee.
And how much is that?
$1,000 a month retainer.
In 6 months, we spent $16,000.
So he charges us per hour that he sits here.
He does charge per hour, but then that retainer fee per month.
Right, what is his per hour wage?
I don't know. I don't know.
So in that $1,000 though, there's a certain amount of hours that are in there. And then if he goes over that, then we're charged the hourly.
I don't know what he charges per hour.
So the
Well,
only,
and you see, and we need to know because, I mean, when I had that conversation with you the other day, I know you're busy and you're backed up and you got too much things to do, and then we give stuff to Andrew to do. We can't give stuff to Andrew at $200 an hour that just maybe has to wait. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Well, in 2021, we spent $16,085 just for the city. That's almost 2,600. It's $2,680 a month.
Yeah, his bills average between $2,400 a month.
so we're blowing past that retainer by $1,200 or
Double.
more per
Double.
month.
We have 3-hour meetings like the last one,
Right,
But
you know?
And if he gets called by anybody during the month and works on things, that's all behind the scenes.
but that should
Those
be,
come through.
But those things that are
individually.
behind the scenes, if he's getting called and we are spending money, that becomes a council decision on whether or not we're hiring to do this thing. I mean, it's not just, he's the attorney, so I need him to do this, or I need him to do that. It doesn't work that way.
no,
Just
I was-
because you're budgeted $20,000 and you think you can, well, I only spent, $1,500 this month, I got an extra, $700-800 I can give to Andrew.
Well, no,
if there's not
that's
a-
not the
Well, not
thought.
that you give it to him, but
I think that he gets called upon when the feel is that, like you say, if they're sitting here and you need some advice or correction on things.
personally, I think if his retainer's $1,000 a month, and that includes hours when we call and need him, why would we budget much over 12,000 a year for him then?
I mean, if the meeting is 3 hours long and it's, let's just say it's $250 an hour, that's $750 for the month on $1,000 retainer.
Right. And we're
So
going over that.
whatever those other hours are, we need to know.
Well, he bills to look at minutes. He bills to look at agendas. He bills for phone calls.
I know he does. That's why I'm saying,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never sat on a board where an attorney sits on the board unless you.
neither have
call
I,
for that
not
day.
once.
He should be sitting in the audience.
Well, and I think you guys can change attorneys. I believe.
Well, I don't think it's a matter of changing attorneys. That's not the question. The question is, if we're gonna budget, that we're looking at the budget, if we're budgeting out how much we're gonna budget for the attorney, and that's his retainer is $1,000, why would we budget anything over that? Or much over that anyway. I mean, a little bit, I can see a little bit of, if we potentially see an issue come in or something like that, maybe, but,
It's foolish not to have an attorney here.
yeah, but it's costing the taxpayers a lot of extra money.
I mean, depending upon what's on the agenda, I don't know. I mean, I don't think you always have to have the attorney here.
We rarely had them.
I mean, if we knew there was something on the agenda in the past, we would have called up. At that time, it was Deb at Pringle Harristed, and then she would come to the meeting.
And sit in the audience.
Or if
And sit in
something
the
comes up
audience.
at the agenda, or at the meeting, you say, oh, okay, well, we're intelligent enough to reach out to our attorney to follow up with that, and then we'll bring it back. you know, not that,
There's many times at a meeting when we have asked him something and he doesn't know, or he has to look
Mhm.
it up or do
Right.
the legwork or whatever.
absolutely.
It's not like we can get a yes or no answer at a meeting on the spot. And
I
I
mean-
don't, I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying.
No, I,
It
100%,
doesn't
I
always
agree.
happen that way.
It's probably not a discussion to have while we're sitting here at this, for this. Definitely something that should be brought up at another meeting would be whether or not the attorney sits in on all of this stuff or sits at the table. But as far as budget goes, I think our number is off for
Okay.
what we are using him for.
Okay, what would you think you'd want to propose it down to be?
Well, like I said, if he is budgeted, if it's $1,000 a month is our retainer and we agreed on that, then why would we be much over 12,000 for a
You guys
year?
want to see one of it, Dills?
15 is.
15 would
would
be,
be
I'd like to see a bill.
Yeah,
15
let's-
would
I
be
mean,
okay.
I-
I'd like to see a couple, but I don't want to, not right now.
Yeah,
Anita.
I don't think we,
Not
yes.
right now.
Because I think it will, it'll make you understand why that number can't be $12,000.
Right,
Because-
and he's not saying that it should be, but he doesn't think it should be that much over. But I think he agrees and I agree. We could agree that 15 is probably a more accurate number.
Yep.
Or we should be sticking close to that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, this year we had some other issues that cost the taxpayers a lot of legal dollars. So
So down to 15.
that's figured into that right
you
now.
think Down to 15 instead of 17.5?
I think 12.
Some of that stuff, we're gonna have to just, decisions have to be made at another meeting, 'cause I need to leave before.
Yep, I agree. Yep. On the backside of it, I guess if we're looking at now with yours wages on the attorney, I mean, that's just police stuff is all that ever is.
Right. This year, we didn't spend much. Last year, it was quite more.
Mhm.
Does he have a separate retainer
No,
for? the
No.
police department too?
no.
That's just
Okay,
hourly.
just,
Just
But the
coming-
$1,000
Surrey
retainer is
altogether.
only for the city, right?
Yep.
Okay. I just was clarifying that.
He had so many hours put in on that retainer, wasn't it?
I'm sure it is,
Remember what
yeah,
it is.
whether it's 5 or 6 or whatever, it's gotta be some sort of a,
He had a number, I just,
I guess I would just like to see what it is, since we're,
can you bring that next time?
So my question would be then, there's 15,000 budgeted for the police, for the attorney for the police department. And for 6 months, we've only spent 2,400.
Right,
Yeah,
and
that's
last
due to
year we
COVID.
spent 13.
There's
so
not
I
as
mean,
much.
We've only
So
had
we wanna
two
leave it at
officers though,
15.
too.
yeah. I don't got a problem leaving
so do we have,
15 there.
I think
don't
that
either.
15's always been,
so do
that's
we
kind
have
of
it,
just where it averaged out at. 20 was,
It is for the last 4 or 5 years on average.
It's been
Things
15.
are normal and not COVID related.
yeah, because in 2020, we actually used 13,
Mhm.
so just over 13,000. So 15 makes sense. We just haven't, this year, we haven't, up till June, haven't used that much.
So the police one, I think, should stay the same. Move the other one to 12.
12?
Yep.
No, 15.
Move both 15, I think, for now.
12 would be just a even $1,000 a month, which is his retainer.
no,
Yeah.
just a reminder,
But there's,
like, I would
how
agree.
many hours is that? 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours? I mean, even if a meeting is 2 hours and you want him to sit here, he still has 4 hours. And I think we need to look at what he's charging us for. I mean, I don't think he needs to go through and look at the minutes.
No,
I mean, why?
I don't believe other boards would be doing
I
that.
mean,
Just a reminder, we can always go down from this, but we can't go back up. So if you want to just do 15 for now, and then we make a mental note of it for the final.
That'd
How's
be a
that
good
sound?
idea.
And we can't
Okay.
go lower than that, right, Jenny? Once we approve his
Once you do
budget?
this,
You can go down, you
You
can't
can't
go
Oh,
back
you can
up.
go down, you can't go back up. I got
okay, I'm good with that.
you. Okay.
Quick observation, I guess. Now it says like on line 315, it says wages for the assessor.
Mm-hmm.
Is that someone different than,
The assessor is set through the county.
okay, that's for him. Okay.
And no, that's set, for your April, what the heck is that
Tax
meeting called?
equalization.
Yep, the equalization meeting.
Equalization.
Okay, I'm good
Yep.
with that. On the engineering fees, I know there's planning on doing a bunch of stuff in Silver Springs, so I guess I think that should go from 10 to 15 anyway.
But,
mean-
okay, so some of that was moved to the,
Water sewer department.
so it's actually at 18,000 for the year,
For
but,
the year?
yep.
Okay, then I'm good.
How do we know that that stuff has been moved? Just-
Well,
They
If
know
you
where the
look at the
accounts are.
water or sewer
Huh?
sheet,
Jenny and Anita Nor, yeah, that's that non-departmental stuff.
if you look
Okay.
at the water fund
It's in the
sheet,
water
you will
fund.
see
Yeah.
there's an engineering line.
Okay,
If you look at the sewer fund sheet, you'll see there's an engineering line.
I was having a heck of a time trying to pre-read this before I got here. so-
No, I get you.
Anybody else have anything on page 5?
I don't think so.
On the expenses, I guess on 6, I got a couple questions. Like the building maintenance, is that in another fund then as well as far as expenses? Line 5,
so there's building maintenance and city hall capital improvements. I guess just adding those two together was 75. I didn't know how much, I mean, how much more money do you want to put into this? Like you said, it's falling apart already, so. I guess now that that north building payment came out though, like
Because
that's
that was-
done, you could add that back in there, 6,000
Yeah,
into
the
that.
north building is paid off, so you could actually put it in your building maintenance if you wanted to.
What do you mean, north building?
We had a loan payment
On what building?
this one.
and that is paid off, but you know, you could put it back into maintenance,
How much was it, the payment?
$6,000
A month you
a
pay?
year.
$6,600 for the year.
Oh,
Well,
Well, again, that's one of those that if we're spending $7,700 a year or last year on, we should have raised our budgeted amount to compensate for that. We're already over our budgeted amount for next year, 6 months in, so,
No, that's,
Hmm.
it's 32.55 for the year so far.
right, but. Yeah, but this is through
This
the
is
6
an as
month,
July or June.
June.
so I mean, you could up that line if you wanted, absolutely.
Is there something else we could do with that $6,600 for that north building payment? Rather than, I mean, I'm okay with putting it up in the maintenance.
Is there
And-
money set aside for an addition onto the shop? You have a-
No, there's nothing set aside.
There's nothing set aside.
Should be a shop built on the backside. Got it on.
Put that on some cold storage and back to the
Well, that shop is so small.
And that's where some COVID money might have to take into effect.
Right.
I guess for now, I just assume put the 6,000 back into the building maintenance / capital improvements, and if you use it, you use it. If you don't, at least it's sitting there.
Mhm.
Isn't that kind of a deal if we use that COVID money, say in the building cost, just throw a number out there, say 300,000, and you pay for half if you finance the rest, 6,600, or that cushion would be help with the payment.
Yep.
So the building maintenance is like paper towels.
Rugs,
Yeah, that was the big
doors.
one. That's why that dropped down so much, is because those rugs is coming off of there, right?
right, doors, that back door, I'm just gonna say that's a piece of crap. There's been times you come in and
Okay, but
Yeah.
that would be like capital improvements,
Yeah.
Right.
major improvements
what's
to
wrong
the
with
building.
it? You
Building
close
maintenance
it
is-
and it won't stay shut.
Cleaning supplies.
So we haven't actually, according to this, then we haven't done any capital improvements this year.
Correct.
No. So you thinking adding that $6,000 back on that 2,500?
Well, not if it's just for that, I guess. I mean, if it's for paper towels and miscellaneous, I mean,
Well, we're not gonna spend it if we don't have to.
But I mean, it can't be for like redoing the floor in here or replacing the windows.
certainly
Capital
could be.
improvements would be, yep.
Absolutely.
Capital
So then can we
improvements.
just put it over
in the improvement one.
the capital.
I would rather put it in the improvements, I guess, than
Okay.
the maintenance.
So we'll put in the capital improvement.
I got a question, Mike said she was doing this council meeting for his garage, is that come out of building maintenance?
The capital improvements for sure it could come out
That's
of, yes.
kind of where I thought it was coming from, Kev.
Okay, I was just
To me, toilet paper and paper towels should be coming out of supplies, not out of building maintenance.
I would tend to
me,
agree with that as well.
But
Yeah, because again, we have,
it's really, it's consumable supplies that you're using. It's not maintenance. Rugs, maybe, yeah, they could probably stay there, but
do you have a, do
to
you
me,
have
it
the
should be
line?
supplies.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'd have to print a report on everything that came out of there. I don't know, I remember exactly.
But we have a supplies account for 10.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering if a guy could have a report
That's where
on.
paper should come out
We
of,
certainly
any of
could,
that.
I could print you reports on it.
Yeah, that would help us justify that.
Well, because I mean, like in 2020, you had 14,000 worth of expenses out of supplies and postage. They did nothing in 21, but well, they didn't budget anything for 21, but in 21, we had almost 10 grand that came out of there,
Right.
but we didn't request anything for 2022.
Mm-hmm.
It just got moved to the department. Like if you look back to page 5, money got put in there instead. And we did it last year too.
Lord.
Can we, I don't know if that's,
So technically it's just coming out of the wrong line item. It's still coming out.
So it says coming out of the wrong line item.
Mhm.
Can we fix that?
Yeah, no, it's easily fixable. Yes.
So it's like how you code your bills when you pay the bills, when
Yep.
you're, that's
It-
how these are all calculated.
Yeah, I mean,
So that's why it's smart to know where the numbers are budgeted so that you know where to
Well,
take them out
absolutely.
of.
That's how you pay your bills.
Yeah.
so the 6,600 though actually isn't even, right now, it's not going to come out of here at all. We're not,
It's not in here right now.
No.
If you guys want to add it back in, you gotta let me know where.
but we wouldn't,
Do you just want to put 5,000 in city hall capital improvement? So make it 10,000?
There you go.
would we have to even do anything with it right now?
You
No,
don't, but
there's no money there
no.
because it's paid off. So there was none budgeted or none
Right.
expended.
So-
So you could increase
it's
it
a
to
done
10
deal.
and call it good, or not increase it and just,
Well, we wouldn't have to increase anything right now.
Nope.
Because we're not actually we don't actually have a plan to change anything or anything like that. There's just, that bill is
It
paid
freed
off.
up that money,
Yep.
basically.
We don't need to pull it out of another,
It's paid
place
off.
to
It's
put
just
it in
like a
here.
loan.
they might as well stay
Once
in the
it's
other
paid off,
place
it's
until
paid
we
off.
need it in here.
Technically, it should have been its own fund anyway.
Is
So
that,
and then
Whatever
once
you
the
guys wanna
fund was
do.
paid off, it would have been-
Well,
Close?
I'm okay with putting 5,000 more into the
absolutely.
capital improvements.
I would do that.
So let's make it 10 and then
Make it
zero
10.
out that north payment, make that disappear. You're good.
I can't zero it out because it
Well,
still
I know it's
exists on
gonna
the
stay
budget.
there. Yeah,
Yep.
there's nothing in there anyway.
Yep.
Right.
Going across. So I had a question on the park state aid share.
Yep.
So we did enter an agreement to them, right? To pay them a percentage
Yep.
of the money that we get from the state? Do we know what we're getting?
We pay them 15%.
Okay,
Do we know what we are getting?
yeah.
It's based on whatever the state gives us. First quarter was like 29.
So from 2020 to 2021, they warned us that it was going to go down considerably, 10 to 15%.
Right.
And that's why 2021, we went down $15,000. However, it's building back up. It looks like we're probably going to get as much as we got in 2021 or 2020 this year, just the way it's coming out now. But
State aid, well, so
they
the
didn't go
state
all the
aid
way
was
back up. We just
between-
did 95. So 15% of 95 is 14,250.
Okay. I'm okay with that. I was
Okay.
just asking. I just wanted clarification.
Yep.
Thank you. No bill yet from Ward County for the election?
No, I
I
might
just
have,
looked-
I
I just
might
looked
have
at
an
that.
election bill though to be actually added for the final. Absolutely. So that might actually change, line, 114. And
Well,
then
you
we
can't
haven't,
budget for special elections though.
Yeah.
It should be 10,000 instead of 1,000.
well, we'll see what they charge us, but yeah.
We put that in there.
Oh, and no, next year is gonna be a regular election as well.
Right, but Ward County, for the most part,
But you, they don't do that. You'll do your own, right?
No, Ward County.
So
They
what-
don't
I
charge.
thought the city did their own.
Well,
no.
No,
no, we're contracted with county, but they don't charge for regular elections like they do special.
Oh, I
Because they have
gotcha.
to do it anyway, so they have to bring out their pool thing anyway.
Yeah, they do
I
all of
gotcha.
it for regulars for all cities, so it's not a huge deal, but
I was
when
gonna
they
say, I
got,
don't think we ever tried, I don't remember charging anybody.
So that, so what, that's about what they're gonna charge us for for a normal election?
about $1,000, yeah.
Cause I mean, if we actually spent 26.
Well, and it might be,
Are we-
it might be more than that.
Should we look at increasing it if our,
I could look at 19 or
Hopefully we
18.
won't have to have any special election.
did we have a special in 2020?
I hope to God we don't have to have a
No.
special election.
No, I don't think.
So if we
did.
didn't have anything special and it was just our regular.
That was the
election-
presidential election, though. I think there was something that we got charged for the November one, too.
Mhm.
We're only,
Oh, no,
there's,
in
it's just a
2020
primary.
Or 2019, we had a special election too. I don't know. I could go back, way back, if you guys wanted me to look. see
Every
what it
4
was
years, though,
regular.
there's the primary and the regular. So next year is just gonna be the June election.
correct.
So is that, are we thinking they charge us like $1,000 per election? Like,
Yes.
okay. Then we'll be closer to it.
So on line 630, prisoner board, what is that?
We get charged.
Jail.
Yep, people gotta sit in jail.
So, suppose that fluctuated with COVID?
That's kind of why it's back up to the.
Is the publishing and printing under advertising, is that
Minutes,
Right,
minutes?
notices.
And that's all listed. So is that broke down per? I thought something earlier said that was being taken out of each area.
Not
instead, or-
advertising.
Not advertising
Not the
That's just to post the minutes in the paper.
and bids or whatever,
Yeah.
Okay.
whatever.
Notices.
Okay,
Notices.
gotcha.
I gotta go.
Thanks for coming.
You never had one, so-
Kevin, you want to talk, well, anything else on this stuff?
The only other thing on here since we put the numbers together here in January on the officer, the third one for 2022. Figure the interview in February, and hopefully get them on the July 1st to start. Actually, I would prefer either May 1st or June 1st to start with May, June, July, and August, so it's busy summer months. And then people want to take vacation, so that would Anita would have to tell me what the difference is because of lifetime, Blue Cross Blue Shield and stuff. I'd like to either see that or else just be either May 1st or June 1st. That number on the bottom, $36.
Okay, but you're talking, if I go back to page 6
Yeah,
on
which
line
one you talking about, Tim?
117, the 27,768.
Police number 3.
On this one, it's 36,802.
Yeah, that's on the whole bottom, but I'm just talking like on this where she has officer 3 at 27,768.
Right, that should be reading 36,802.
Well, it's 27,768 is just 1,040 hours at the $24 an hour.
Is that what it was? And it's-
Mhm.
so that's for the whole
So
year?
if you add, what, 80 hours to that?
Right, what we used to do on the police budget was put 2,080 hours in, take the time.
Okay.
So I didn't have to worry about the Blue Cross, the FICA, and all that was under a separate heading. But now Anita said they like to have that all included in that final figure. So that's why that needs to be adjusted.
What does it need to be adjusted to again?
The 36,802.
36,802.
And that's if it was a July 1 start, and I prefer either a May 1 or June 1, you only need
Well, if you do the 36,802, I mean, just to make it close, it doesn't have to be.
Well, right now the FICA's in the non-departmental, so,
Yeah,
Right
but,
now,
but we
it-
can add,
right.
so to add 2 months would take that 27,768 to 29,688.
yeah,
Well, let's do it now.
Yeah,
And
do it
then
now. I agree.
we can cut it in the final if we want to a month, but that's adding 2 months,
$29,000 or whatever. that number-
29,688, yep.
Yep. I would- that-
Awesome. Otherwise, I think we lined up pretty good, Kevin.
And then you're putting another 12 grand a year into your vehicle fund for, okay.
That's awesome.
What is an APX 8000?
That's the new radio system that we're going to, and we were one short, for 2022. So actually, that's listed at 5,500. I just got the quote, they went up to 6,500. When I picked up the two mobile radios today, but we get reimbursed by the state 1,500 off of that we get.
Okay. Just leave it at 55
So
then?
we can leave it at 55. It's still good.
And then what's that MDT that you want? What is that thing?
That's for maintenance on our system for all the computers.
Okay. Should that be on a capital? I don't know. Should that be moved to a different line, you think? I don't know. I mean, I guess the way I look at it is a capital thing like that, it's like a piece of equipment. And this is maintenance. Can we move that out of there into something else? I mean, it's only $1,000. Just another line under where he has supplies and operations. Put annual maintenance on.
Is that like computers and radios annual?
It's actually through my TV, which we do.
Does that make sense, Kevin?
So where are you moving it, Steve?
To whatever line, I think we need a new line under supplies and operations on the police department budget.
Mm.
Just put $1,000 in there somewhere. And make that 17,095 to 18,095.
Gotcha.
And that's if we only use 1,000, right?
Well, that's not this MTD thing. So taking it from here and moving it over here.
The only thing I
925.
I'm just going by the average of all the vehicle repairs, the way things are going, what people are charging. I'm just going by what we've got in the past. I have no idea.
Trying to guess it on some
Yeah.
things.
That's all we can do for now.
But I'm just going by what we generally use.
And you said we can go up after this or down?
You
after
Down.
Only go down.
Go
Can
down.
only go lower.
So the highway fund, that's probably one of the bigger ones that I wanted to talk about, just because,
What page?
8. So
All the way
the highway tax distribution has been
Okay.
dropping down. That's money we get from the state. It's been dropping down. This year, we probably are on track to get around 70, but last year, if you remember, we budgeted only $54,000 because it was supposed to drop considerably. So I'm hoping that starts going back up. I know for my budget in Belvi, I did the same thing as crossed my fingers, it went up. But the major thing, normally we take a wage out of the highway fund, like a full public works wage.
Okay.
But I'm just thinking for this year, just
Try not to
Leave
do
it up.
that.
try to recoup some of that money.
I think I did that over there too. I think I didn't take it out of highway for a few numbers of years in hopes that we'd be able to fix our streets.
Yeah, I mean, both the water and sewer funds have like a couple $100,000 in them. So I think this just makes sense for at least 1 year.
On that one, under highway and streets, I might get ahead of myself there. The maintenance line goes to zero. We went from 99, just about $10,000. Now we're budgeting for 1,000.
Where you at?
It's on line 420
420.
or
420.
15.
And that-
Maintenance.
That's just where you decide to put
420.
some stuff. Like there's maintenance and then there's equipment repair and maintenance.
Yeah,
So,
there's two different lines.
so
It's
we moved
weird.
it all down.
Right.
So what goes under 420 then?
In 2021, nothing.
But we're asking for $1,000. We put $1,000 on it,
That
but we don't know what it's for.
just general maintenance.
Like
In-
little things?
In the case.
I mean, batteries in the shop for
Tools,
flashlights. I don't know.
Something like that?
You're on
Highway.
highway. I've struggled with these two funds ever since I started paying bills.
Technically, you can remove one and add one to the other if you want
That's
to,
what I was
just to make
Technically
it.
remove one.
I
That'd
would
be-
put
that'd be
420
awesome.
down into 426.
Unless there's a specific maintenance that 420 was for.
No,
No, it was just to break it out in the case,
It's just, it depends on who's sitting in the chair in the office.
exactly.
to write those bills.
On whether they're gonna take it out of line 420 or 426.
It
That's
would be,
exactly what
it'd
it
be
is.
simpler to have it one fund out of 426 for all the
Not
equipment
changing
repairs and highway maintenance.
Leave it there.
That makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing in this fund, gas, I know that they've only used 1,600 so far, or at the 6-month mark, but with the gas prices going up, I think. might
Oh,
as well
geez, that,
use
yeah,
that.
that's all they've used, huh? Ooh.
Yeah, I was questioning that dollar amount myself because it seemed like 6 months in and we've only used 1,600. Has that been accidentally coming out of something else?
That's
No.
without the payloader running 24/7
Right.
with snowstorms though too.
I mean, if you get some snow, yeah, we didn't have any.
No, that's your gas.
That's your fuel and gas, yeah.
That would have easily been that. I was wondering like day to day pickup, filling up the pickups and stuff like that. Is that coming out of something else somewhere?
Well, I mean, for next year, we added it to the water and the sewer fund. I added just a little bit of money in there for either one of those. So I mean, and these aren't, so the only thing that we get levied is the general fund.
Right.
The rest of this is
The
pretty
rest
much,
of these
you
are
just try to
extra sheets.
maintain. You just try to maintain. These are basically enterprise funds that you can transfer up to 20% out of. If you do, at the end of the year, if you do happen to have some money left over, you can transfer 20% out to, let's say, the capital equipment fund. If you wanted to. Capital equipment's a bad example. Like if the highway fund was running into a negative, you could transfer money out of the water fund to help.
The highway fund.
So what's the capital improvements for the streets, the 20,000 then?
So I talked to AJ. Didn't you say there was gonna be, you wanted to do some sort
Water
of
main,
street repair? But wasn't there something major for this year, next year? And that's what we talked about in your office, I think.
Like $20,000 worth.
There, but then like for street repair, crack sealing, sweeping, there's another 20.
Right. There are 2 items for that.
I mean, yeah, should that be 40 in the one thing then and nothing in the other? I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I
it's
guess
just a
on,
guess.
on your guys' minds, yours and Anita, you it works different than everybody else sitting up here. I mean, we look at it thinking it all comes out of here, but it doesn't all come out of here because there's a highway fund and a water fund and whatever. And you guys just know that.
Well,
You
so
can
your,
split it up,
your
yeah.
meeting today for your levy is on these first pages we just did, besides the highway, the water, the sewer, your debt services. The county don't care about any of them. Those are actually just internal funds that
Correct.
we carry here, that we can transfer, and we want to hold good monies in so that we keep an accord, so that at the end of the year, you can transfer money to save the other funds if you need to.
Really, the first 3 pages is all we need to look
Well, not the first
No.
3, but 8.
But you still have to know where some of this is at. Like on page 19, I mean, I see like the water main connection.
Okay, so yes.
That's, I mean,
and
we're
AJ
guessing because of what's happened on the other pages. We're
No,
gonna
and
put
I'm not
houses out
sure
there.
where 20 grand would have got thrown in there for 2022. Do we
Well-
want to reduce that, thinking we're not going to spend that kind of money?
No, I
That's a
remember,
good-
Alina, I think it was after the last meeting on Monday when
Mhm.
Kim said it could be anywhere from 15 to 50 or whatever. So that's where that number jumped up, because I think before it was like at 10, like the other building permits.
Oh, the taps fee.
Yep, water main connection is
Gotcha.
the $1,000 on the
Yep.
building permit.
Yep,
And that only got raised because of what Kim said on
That-
Monday
yeah.
night.
the
Yeah,
18
okay.
to 52 homes.
And that's just a guess
We
too.
could
But
actually have
but the sewer is the
52,000
same as
sitting in
that.
there. That'd be awesome.
That's not Silver Springs, but is it?
Yeah,
They pay a hookup fee?
they do, absolutely.
You mean it's rural water, though?
They got to pay our connection. Yep.
Everybody pays. Everybody pays.
But that's why the water meter doesn't get, it didn't increase the water meter fee. That wouldn't be us then, right?
Right,
That'd be rural water.
right.
No, the water meter,
That's just the dollar charge on your water bill.
yeah,
But Aiden doesn't have a meter because he's
Right.
rural water.
correct. Everybody else in town does.
Right.
Besides Silver Springs.
So does that, well, this is, that's revenue, never mind. This is in,
Right.
this is in, not out.
But yeah, you see, but if you don't collect the revenue, then you can't spend it.
Right.
So if you only get, let's say, $10,000 worth of these connections, then somewhere throughout the year, you have to spend $10,000
spending.
less money.
Right.
If we use it all, which,
Mhm.
yeah. Like on late fees, yeah, they're fine.
Well, that number could potentially go up than the
It could.
water meter fee because anything south of
Yeah, but
all the new homes, so this,
it's $1 a month or whatever the heck it is.
Right. we don't need to look at increasing it because we were actually higher in 2020. It should be, we're still close.
Yeah, I wouldn't deal, no, yeah. I mean, yeah, that water meter fee is because everybody else down here who has water meters, they break
Mhm.
and we have to get new ones. And how much are they?
$400.
So we just continually collect it. So when he has to go out there and put 10 meters in, we have the money. And yeah, there was a fight when we put $1 on the water meter.
No, I was just wondering if we went up to 2020,
That's
if,
$12 a year. Just wait till you get the garbage. Per
That's where
kitchen.
your gas and oil and fuel, it's coming out of, your enterprise as well as your highway. It's split. You guys see that?
I'm good
don't
all the way
know.
up to page 20.
Right, 50 bills in a month. I can't tell you which funds it's coming out of exactly,
engineering
unless
is
I
that
look
then,
at
I
them
hope so.
again.
so what you're saying is the gas, diesel, oil,
It's
Is-
coming out of highway, water. Is it coming out of sewer too?
it's not just coming out of one
It's being
fund.
split.
It's
Yep.
getting,
The bill's getting split and funded separately. So we get a $900 bill, we take 300 out of each fund.
So normally what I do, just to make this less confusing for everybody, what I do is, so AJ in my head is water. Normally John in my head is streets, but this year John's gonna be sewer. So in my head, when I'm calculator, gas, diesel, all that stuff, like the majority of AJ's slips that he turns in for his pickup will come out of the water fund. But anything big, like the major equipment and stuff, will come out of the highway fund, any of the fuel.
Oh, the snow
That stuff.
removal, all that. yeah.
And then John's, the majority of his will come out of the sewer fund. Like when he turns in his little Senex slips.
That makes sense. I mean, it's easy for whoever's doing it knows
No,
that.
absolutely.
You normally have the budget up when you're paying the bill.
Yeah.
Yes, that is helpful. I found that myself.
Well, that explains some of the questions I had on it because it was why I was getting.
Some of the bills
confused.
are split, and there's, well, split even engineer wise too.
So like, let's say AJ turns in a receipt from Menards and he has stuff,
Shop tools, he
yeah,
might have.
and then stuff for a water
stuff for
repair,
water,
something
he
for,
might have stuff for.
you can line item it out
you-
of there.
You have to line item. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So then on page 23 on the sewer fund, on the right-hand side from like number 13 down to 22, those were just added lines that we stuck into
13 down to 22 for,
like
Public
test
Works.
samples, chemical supplies, gas, diesel, da-da-da-da.
Yeah, I don't know why that stuff was never in there before, so we just added it.
Did we subtract that out from anywhere else? Or just
No,
add-
it's just an addition. We don't have, I mean, obviously, we don't have a water plant here, so it's not like they're constantly
$500.
testing, but I mean, you do have to, I'm assuming there's lift station testing that you need to do, right? And the lagoon, constantly testing that and sending samples in.
samples, yep.
Um,
And I would
chemical
agree. I
supplies.
think we need more lines. I think the more lines that we see, I think it makes it easier on us.
Yep, no, for
Well, it
sure.
makes it easier on
I
the person
agree.
paying the bills.
Correct.
too.
And we just have to make sure that it gets paid out of the right
Account.
accounts.
So when 2022 starts, she's just gonna have a budget sheet sitting right in front of her so she can see exactly how much money is in each one. That chemical supplies for the sewer fund would be like the bugs for the lagoon too. That was never, that was all,
It was
always
all
just
lumped
taken out of, like,
together
maintenance.
Into maintenance, and I like it better too that it's actually split out, because yeah, then if they're testing lagoons and we gotta send it to the state, well, then I know that that bill's gotta get paid out of that fund, you know.
Well,
That's-
and then just for accountability when
Yep.
we're trying to, balance.
Well,
everything.
budget for the next year.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's all there. It's easier to
Exactly.
And then correct me if I'm wrong, Anita, like, okay, by taking some of these numbers or lines and you pay from this instead of that, or this one from that one, is that how in the office, the $9,000 was mysteriously just gone? It wasn't gone because we balanced out from January to whatever. It's just that these funds were not correct as far as where the money came out of.
No, what happened previously is your bank does not balance with your funds.
Because the way that some of the funds were not coming out of the right accounts? Or no, I'm just asking. I don't know.
Your bank
No.
shows more
Doesn't have
money than
anything to
your
do with
funds do.
Okay. That
And-
didn't, doesn't matter. Let's go to the next one.
Mhm.
Garbage contract. Do you know when the last time it was that we actually upped it as far as kitchens? Do you know what we even charge? I don't know.
I don't know when you guys upped your rates, no.
We just did that.
We did that a couple of years ago when we went to.
Didn't you just decrease the rate?
We went down in the garbage. We go down in the water, up in the garbage?
I think you guys downed your garbage.
I don't
it
think we
was-
touched the garbage. I
It
think
was
we
one or
went,
the other.
I think, Twyla, you're correct. We went down in the vector and I
Mhm.
think up in the water, wasn't
That's
it?
what I thought.
But I don't think we touched garbage because that's when we were having all those issues with
Yeah,
the,
that's true. I think you're right.
so I, just in my notes, I have that we can talk about raising the garbage up a little bit just because of the roll-off thing. But I don't remember ever, I think it's this COVID thing, honestly. I don't know how we're even close to going over where with the no rain.
I
but everybody's
agree.
cleaning their houses.
Everybody's
I don't know.
cleaning their houses.
I agree. We are over every time.
Because come in and their head guy was in here and talked about how Minot landfill was charging more, so Circle was gonna charge us more.
Yeah.
I believe you did raise the garbage.
No.
Okay, so it was vector
think we
down,
did.
garbage up.
I don't know. I guess
I
I'd
don't
like
think we
to,
raised the garbage because we were already covering it.
I don't remember
What
it
the
exactly.
fee was going to be,
I seem to remember there
Was
being discussion about,
close to what we were getting.
there was
but-
an increase in it.
Something went down and something went up, and I know
Yeah,
the vector
one
fund
went
went
down
down
and one went up. Mm-hmm. But I don't
to balance them
remember.
out.
Yep, and it really wasn't that much of a change for anybody.
do you know
Well,
when the garbage contract is due? Just out of curiosity?
I don't know
No?
that either. That'd
It's
be
every
great.
5 years.
well, the other thing is, we don't have really much of a
It's
choice as to
probably
who
a
we get, do
5-year
we?
contract.
It's been about 3 years, I think, that it was mandatory that we had. The dumps, which we've always had. it.
Because I thought some
5 years?
point in time that
3
we
years?
had overpaid
They
them
were
a
here.
ton of money. Yeah,
Circle
don't
Sanitation was
remember.
here, weren't they, last fall?
yeah, Randy, Ruby was here, wasn't he? Wasn't it Randy?
I don't remember all the details.
I
really
don't recall it, if I was even on then.
I'd have to look it up.
So I wasn't here.
Well, you might have been in here,
Might have been out there.
out there. Yeah. It's different when you're sitting here
Donating your 2 cents.
listening to the details.
I guess I would just like to take a look at the garbage contract to see if we have to increase it. I'd
Yep,
like to know what it
that's a good
is
idea.
and
Mm-hmm.
when the last time we upped the rates on.
I'm with
kitchens or
Jenny. I
whatever.
don't know how we're constantly over in our dumps though.
Well, there might
I've
have
mowed
to
my
be
grass
something
3 times
done,
this
even
year,
if
I
you
swear to
guys
God.
do have a
Yeah, I think so. They
subcontract
mowed it twice.
about those dumps.
You can't bag it. when it's
Because
this
we
dry.
took that one dumpster even away, didn't we? The furniture
The
one
appliance
or
one,
whatever,
yeah.
the appliance one, whatever it was.
Circle took that away. We
Oh,
didn't take it away.
Yeah, well,
Are we increasing homes enough also to justify going up that much? How many homes are we in?
Oh,
have we
that
increased?
could be a piece of it too, but not that much.
he's got 3 going already.
And if they all,
Next year?
and if they all increase, we're gonna be up, well, our dumpster dumps will go up even more, I would
Well,
assume.
I mean, they wouldn't have
Well,
grass right
especially if we
away,
have
but
rain,
yeah,
if
that's
people
something to
are
think
mowing
about
their
though.
yard.
Well,
We'll
up there
definitely
we're
pull the
watering.
contract.
Hey, nobody should be
and,
mowing their damn yard.
Or why everybody's watering.
Yeah.
One out here is almost every week we're done.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we dump it twice.
Should we move forward?
So like, yeah, just last thing, garbage sales, we are at 105,000 and our contract is at 75,000. So it's $30,000 cushion in there.
Mm.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. I guess we talked about that.
So vector,
Vectors, mosquitoes.
Yeah, mosquito spraying.
And that is actually all, oh, I'm so excited to see how this is all gonna roll after August. That has all been, switched up so that your vector is not going into your general fund anymore. It's gonna actually go into the vector fund.
so basically for this one, my thinking, and this is just my opinion, of course, the revenue is 9350 approximately. Obviously, that'll go up with every house that comes online. Basically, this fund, you kind of just want to keep even, just because right now we have everything purchased minus the ATV, UTV thing, but there's still $30,000 in the
Mhm.
in the
In
fund.
the fund itself, yeah, there's like 20-some thousand.
2 years ago, when I ordered a 55-gallon drum of spray, it was like 3,800. I ordered for this year, which is 4,200, and I expect it to go up next year.
So how long does that last you?
7 ounces per minute is like 12.5 gallons an hour.
I know, I put 7 grand on there, AJ.
So maybe 2 of them then you need?
I just ordered to blow out the rest of this year's budget. I just ordered another 45 gallons.
I put 7 on there after we talked the other day. 7,000. Is that enough?
We had 8 before, I think
Are you thinking 9?
You had 8 in equipment purchases for 2021. That was 8 in the total fund. Okay, so
Yeah.
this near for next should be 9,000 total, 7 for spray.
You're talking two different things though.
No, we're talking.
You're
the
talking
same.
about, no, you're talking about combining it with
He's
the
talking
equipment.
about $8,000.
He's here.
No, he's here. He's on $8,000 and we got it up to 9.
So basically,
But that's
I
not
have
what
it up
he's-
to
that's not
10,500.
what he's saying.
What is he saying then?
So
He's-
$8,500 in chemical supplies
Correct.
for the spray, $500 equipment parts and repair, just in case, like if you do get a UTV, something breaks down, you have it. And then 1,500 for equipment purchases. And I'm just thinking, keep raising that number, just like that's
Okay.
your capital improvement
He's
for
talking about
replacing
just
the
spray
next
part of it.
fogger.
He wasn't talking about
do
the
that.
whole thing. The whole
But
Do you want to make
the-
it a line item? So there is money in there?
Oh, don't you have that?
What are you talking about, Steve?
650.
Well, like Jenny was just saying, like on equipment purchases, we have the equipment. It's there, we're done. And then we have $1,500 that we've requested for it, but it's literally, to me, if it's not like in a separate account for new ATV or whatever you want to call it, that $1,500, if all of a sudden we have no mosquitoes, blah, 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 so that money just goes away.
Well, we just moved it up to the chemicals, really,
But,
1,500.
well, no, but we still have 650 in there. She didn't move it, she just added
Right.
1,500 to it.
8,500 for chemicals and spray, but if you do purchase any kind of equipment, you got 1,500 to spend.
Correct,
If
but
you
we don't
don't
need
spend
any.
1,500, no biggie whoopty.
But we can, it goes away sometimes. is
Well,
what
it
I'm
doesn't
saying.
go, money just doesn't go away.
Now
Yeah,
that
it
it's in
does.
his own
It
fund
goes
though,
away. If
No.
all of a sudden we're
It's
gonna,
budgeted there, you just don't use it.
Right.
it's budgeted and all of a sudden you're gonna steal it from this fund and it goes someplace else.
Well, that's.
Well,
I mean,
that
where do you
does-
think the
that
money
does
comes
happen.
from?
It shouldn't go away.
Is there,
It does.
is this equipment purchases, is that, because this machine's gonna wear out?
basically it's supposed to say capital equipment.
Correct. I think it should
Purchases.
say capital equipment, $1,500 and you leave it in there.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
perfect.
then every year that 1,500 goes,
It goes 15, now
So
we got
then-
3, we got 45, we need a new four-wheeler, there's money there instead of trying to figure out where
Yep.
it's coming from.
yeah, that's what I assumed that 8,000 meant. But is that? Right, that's what we
It-
got
That's what we
requested.
spent.
It
Yeah.
just was never itemized before. I think
Yeah.
this makes it easier. I think everybody agrees. Like for next year, we're gonna know exactly
Yep.
We'll be able to see exactly what was budgeted and spent.
and what was spent.
Last year, I know we talked about loader tires. And after that, everything went haywire. I don't know because everything got redid, numbers, counts, I have no idea. So I know it's, we're talking this year's budget, was I supposed to get tires with the loader or should that be on the budget for 2022? Or
I have no idea. I know we talked about tires.
and I can't look at the minutes because all it says was discuss budget.
I think we told you to buy 2 of them and then buy 2 next year, or I think it was something like that.
That's what I wanted to do, but Rick wanted to get all four.
I don't know what it was for.
So the loader tires would come out of your highway fund.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know these will make it or should make it through the winter, but I know they won't
How much are they?
make it next
How much are they? Yeah.
They're expensive.
Oh,
At least they're probably 1,000 now or better right now because everything's went up so much this year.
because, well, you could put it in partially in snow removal and you could put it
That'd be
partially in
nice.
equipment repair.
No, and even if they did, if they see the city roll up,
Mm.
that's gone.
Yeah.
Doesn't apply.
Exactly.
Well, you got $5,000 budgeted for snow removal, yeah, and we've spent 1,000, okay. We got 17 for equipment, we've spent 8,700.
So that's not really, you're talking, right now you're discussing something that's,
Could
needs
become
to be
at
done
a
this
meeting.
year, not projected for
Well,
next.
that's, I'm trying to figure out if loader tires are supposed to be purchased this year. or-
I think we approved it. I think we did.
I know we were buying something.
I know we agreed.
Oh, I think it was a transfer in, wasn't it? Some
Yeah, I
kind of
thought
like
we-
the, remember the garbage reserve
There
was
was a
way
lot
up
of
there
money.
and we
Yeah,
transferred
there
some
was
to the
something
highway
in
to
there.
cover
Yeah.
that and
Yep.
some to somewhere else to cover something
That's
else.
what I think too. I know we agreed to
Get
get
'em.
them.
Get them. Just go buy them.
Yep,
All four or two?
yep.
All
Just
four.
get one for now. Yeah, we'll think about the other three later. Oh, God, guys. Next.
Where would we put like for capital equipments? I mean, we were talking like that utility truck. We need to do something with that thing. You were talking jetter, you were talking Batwing.
Well, the Batwing's about 30 years old, calls the woods on it, and the serial number is dated between 1990 and 2000. So it's 20 plus years old and really needs a lot of work to it. The utility truck, we want to use the water tail. I don't know how many miles it had on it then, but it's got like 230,000 on it now.
Where would, on these pages, where would we find these funds?
Would
make,
some
like-
of it come out of
For
the
what?
highway?
Like highway fund? Is that where we're back to then?
I would imagine you're out of your highway fund, yeah?
Well, are you talking about buying a pickup?
Well, I think we need to at least put a line item in there to buy one.
Okay, so then it would be capital equipment fund, and then there's police department, and then there's,
Oh, we
Public
haven't gotten to
Works
the capital equipment fund, Steve, yet.
We haven't got to it?
No.
Oh, it's right here. I see it. Yep. It's next.
That's next, Steve.
Well, yeah.
So we're going 8,500 on chemicals and testing and leaving that as it is, right, on Vector? Okay.
Yep.
Just making sure. So that capital outlay, is that where we're at?
Yep.
Right here.
Yep.
No, Lagoon separate.
so like your monthly first district
Yeah,
that you
Lagoon
send
would
in?
come out of sewer
That's
or
water
wherever.
That's not on Vector.
The food poll.
Yeah,
Yep.
it does. I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question. But now there's a line item for it instead of just coming out of maintenance.
So this 40,000 on 385, line 385, is that from the highway department? Or going to the highway department?
That's two.
Yeah. That's where Jenny was talking a while ago as far as,
Mm-hmm.
but
So
then I
we-
think,
Recover our highway department, right?
So, and the reason we did that, so if you look down at the bottom, almost the bottom number in the right-hand corner, the balance, we'll just do the balance at the end of 2021 if everything goes as expected, $280,000.
In that fund, right?
And this is our sales tax fund. All our sales tax money goes into here, and then we set it up for big purchases like this.
Maybe we should actually call it that. So I was kind of confused on what capital equipment stands for, but if it's really sales tax. City sales tax.
Yeah, you can change it or add it, whatever. So there's, well, at the beginning of the year, there was $250,000. Basically, money just gets banked in there every year for equipment purchases. So capital outlay, Steve, your question, it's $13,000 every year. That is, wait, no, expenditure, no, yeah, 13,000 for vehicles.
12?
So basically from the sales tax is $120,000 and we're spending just about half of that, a little over half of that.
No, most of it's banked though.
Most, yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're spending the 68.5 out of there.
This year we haven't spent anything yet. Oh,
True.
So like, if you look at 2020, total expenditures were $61,000 and
Mhm.
the fund still made $52,000. So
Right.
basically we spent 9,000 out of there last year. Out of 120-ish.
so to put a line in here for us to buy a utility truck like they buy for the police department,
yeah.
where it says transfer out PD 12 grand, and that goes into their little budget. It goes from 12 to 24 to 46 or whatever.
We could
Mhm.
put another one just saying,
We need to do that. I think we need a transfer out for utility truck, whatever that dollar amount's going to be. I don't know if you want to do that with a bat wing and a jetter, or I have no idea.
So
Can
under
we
the
just call
highways
it-
and streets, right?
Can we just call it like,
Construction miscellaneous, like, why don't we rename that one? Oh, you can't.
Well,
because it's
let's go
already
back
been
here. Let's
placed.
put in, yeah, I need you to put in some lines. I need you to put in utility truck, a jetter, and a bat wing.
do you want to call it those specific things? or
Those
just wanna-
specific things that are right under, just like it says, transfer out to PD, because it's the police department there on like, it's kind of grayed out, then it has capital outlay and a transfer. I want to do the exact same thing for the,
The three pieces of equipment.
yep,
So what are you putting in each one of those then?
well, I don't know.
Well,
I guess right now that outlay is $13,000 that, and wherever that goes, it goes. It probably just goes back sometimes to,
Well,
I mean, it goes
Okay.
into the highway department or whatever.
so if Anita did a ton of research, she could figure out exactly how much money Kevin specifically has for his vehicle reserve right now and how much money the Public Works has for their,
well, they have their
basically
own.
it's divvied out of this $247,000. Obviously, there's like probably 120 in one and 120 in the other.
But what
Type
I
deal.
usually do at the end of the budget year now is when I look at the tires and all the other things out of this year's budget to make it easier for the next year's budget. To replace them, I wait till we see where we're at. At the end of the year.
Can we up that capital outlay from, let's just call it 13,000?
40?
Well, we only have 10 down right now.
Yeah.
Right.
I was thinking 30, just
Yeah,
to
I
put
would-
10, 10, and 10 in those three.
No, that's
Deals?
fine with me.
Yep. Sounds good, Steve. I'll do that.
Well, that's why I was wondering if you wanted to call them specifically those items, or if you just
Well-
wanted to have 3 different items.
I want to call it utility truck, jetter, and bat wing, if that's what we need.
So then, like a bat wing, we buy one for 10 grand next year.
Then it'd be
And it
gone.
goes
Then
away.
you just delete that line item, or do we
And you'd
want?
put a new one in there
Change it
for
out,
your
yep.
next piece.
Or we
For the
change it
next
to
piece.
something else. that
Or maybe we should put like equipment or
Nope. I think
public
it should
works
be
equipment.
separate.
Well, I mean, the loader's the big one. I think
Yep,
most of
there
this
should be one.
13,000 was going towards the loader every single year. So adding, like changing capital outlay that 600 to loader fund or whatever, loader object. And then adding, like Steve just said, the other 3.
So are
I
you gonna have
completely
4
agree.
items then
So
instead
we're gonna
of?
change the capital outlay to
loader.
loader.
I believe that's what that was saving money for,
26.2?
if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. What year did we get this loader? Does anybody know? 2012-ish?
Yeah, I would say somewhere, yeah,
And it was $150,000-$60,000 ish.
I would agree with you. Yeah, I would say that money was going into someplace to.
So I would say maybe it was $130,000, and this was the 10-year plan to
Mhm.
replace the next one at 13. I don't know. I mean, that's just my guess.
That would make sense, and why?
So that capital outlay, yeah, that should say,
We'll just break it down to 3 different.
well, I think,
gonna be
I would like
4.
the
It's gonna be
loader in there. I think we need 4.
It's gonna be 4.
Well, yeah, but your capital outlay would be your 3.
Nope. He wants them all separate.
Yep.
I want them all separate.
And
So
see,
you want a
wants-
loader?
I want,
you
yeah, I
a
want
utility
cap,
truck, you want a jetter and a bat wing.
correct.
I
One
completely agree.
with 18 and the rest with 10 apiece.
The loader's gonna have 18.
Oh, no, the loader's gonna have 26 too. And the rest are gonna have 10 apiece.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Why is
Where's the
loader
26.2
getting? Yeah,
come
where's
at?
the 26.2 coming
That's
from?
Capital
police
outlay.
department.
No,
It's 20.
That's your 600, line 600?
Yeah, I
That's-
see 28.
That's
I
the
see
police department
28,
on the top.
338. I don't see 26 anywhere.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at expenditures in 2021. I'm looking in the middle line. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Oh, I gotcha.
Ooh, Too many
Oh.
numbers
Oh.
here.
There's 2 600s on here. That's why it's confusing.
Well, because there are 2 different
Yeah,
accounts of PD
One's
and
for
the
the police
One's
department,
for the
Works.
police
one's
and
for the
one's for
highway and
highway and
street.
street.
Okay. So I can visualize, right? Right here. You want this to say loader? Yeah?
Yeah, I see, because this one says like capital outlay.
Yes. You want it to say
Right.
loader and then you want bam, bam, bam right underneath that?
But
Mhm.
do you still need this capital outlay thing like the police department shows?
No, we're gonna just change that. Right? Change that.
You can
to
just
loader.
do See, these are objects in here, 600, 601, 602, 603. You can just create the objects
Okay.
and you're good to go.
Okay,
What
yeah.
I don't understand though is there's, the increase isn't there. If that 1,300 or 13,000, excuse me, has been going in there since we got the last loader, it's only at 28.
No, this is the
So where's-
budget. This is not the fund.
Yeah, this isn't, see, I'd like to see a balance.
If you
but-
want to see a
Right, the
fund
balance of
balance,
how
that's a
much do
whole
we
different
actually
report.
have in there?
We get all that, don't we, every month?
You do get it every month. Yep.
It's
there-
not broken down though.
It's not
It would
broken
just
down, so
say
you just-
capital equipment fund is $247,000.
So then you forget that you were budgeting for something.
So my question then under the police department, just explain it to me, Jenny. There's 600 capital outlay and then there's the transfer out. So the money builds up in the capital outlay and then it gets transferred out?
I don't know why that's like that. It should just
Okay.
be one or the other.
Okay,
You're
that's
correct.
what I was asking, because it's kind of confusing.
Yeah, you could probably,
Because that's where
Yeah,
that's where that
technically you could-
12,000 goes,
To
That
the
he
police
puts in his
department,
fund.
he already has it in his budget.
right?
oh, the transfer out is probably once he gets enough money and it's time for him to purchase a vehicle, you use that. line
You would
item to
transfer that money over there
to
and
the
then pay
P.
for it.
So you
which is
wouldn't be
stupid,
putting,
But that's the way it works.
Or you could just take it right
I
out of
don't
there.
think it should say transfer out. I think it should say PD vehicle.
PD vehicles on there.
Well, so we just changed 600 capital outlay to loader. You could change 600 capital outlay to PD vehicle.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
and then just
thinking.
have
It
one
would just make
item.
more sense.
And then when it's time to buy it, you just write the
Then
check
it's
right
just
out of
right
there.
You just
there.
transfer
That
it.
makes way more sense to me.
Yes, there's a lot of work to do in there.
Well, it's really just some fine tuning. I
Right.
think just so that everybody understands it on the same page, so we're on the same page.
Absolutely.
It'll make it easier. when
What's
we
this
look at the
debt service? Do we need to do anything on that? That's just-
Well,
Can
no,
you just
you-
explain what it is?
Explaining kind of what it is. District 29 is your assessment for streets. District 30 is your assessment for sewer. TIF, we all know what that is. That's actually negative if you look,
Yeah, why is that?
because it's in bad shape.
We need to have a meeting on TIF. Just-
34 is your water tower, and 35 is
That's in
second.
the hole too.
35 is Second Street. And I know, I asked about that. The water tower actually probably won't be in, it won't be in the hole. We were guessing on these numbers. It carries itself. The water tower, I don't know.
Mandatory document. Anybody else have anything?
Well, just a quick, can you say that thing about the special assessments that we
Oh.
might run short on them or whatever?
Yeah, you guys want to know about the specials?
Just a quick, because I gotta go.
Specials were calculated to the day, not by the amortization schedule. So if you know of any of that in finance world, we might not have the money completely to pay off the loans due to interest calculations.
Yeah.
It was miscalculated incorrectly because it was being to the day. The payoffs were being quoted to the day and not by the schedules. And so the interest might be short in the long run.
Just a calculation type error then, what you're
So
saying?
it's a different way of that things were doing it than the way that they were set up at the bank.
I'll make a motion to approve the preliminary budget with
I'll
the
second it.
changes presented.
Voice vote, all in favor,
I,
opposed? Hearing none,
Make a motion to adjourn.
I just sent my certificate of living.